This is a call to all women entrepreneurs. Women in Business Community Network is a one-stop shop for female entrepreneurs in Kenya. Our goal is to empower communities and eradicate poverty. With a membership of 1.2 million members across the country, we engage and aspire to achieve issues around challenges on women enterprises. We thrive on 5 pillars: mentorship and capacity building, financial literacy and investment, market linkages and partnerships, networking, referrals and events, policy and advocacy. For more details, visit us on www.wibkenya.org or simply call us on 0751 900 900. Women in Business Network, empowering communities, eradicate poverty.
Welcome to Breaking Limitations Show with our host, Joyce Melendez. We are here to empower, equip, and promote. Let us discover your superpower. Hi, welcome to the Breaking Limitations Show. My name is Joyce Melendez and I am your host here on today. As you all know, our mission is always to empower, to equip, and to promote individuals who've been able to overcome great obstacles in their lives and have now discovered their own superpower. Today, I'm not just excited, but I am so honored to have one of our bishops here in the studio on today, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. And I have in the studio on today Bishop J B Masinde. He is the senior pastor and founder of Deliverance Church Umoja. He's the general secretary of Deliverance Church Ministry that covers Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, and he's also a renowned teacher of the word and maintains a regular international itinerary that makes him travel around the world. He's also married to his beloved wife, Pasha Masinde, and together they have 5 amazing grown-up children. So, Bishop, thank you so much for coming to this show and welcome to Breaking Limitations.
Thank you very much. God bless you. I'm glad to be here, dear viewers. God bless you.
Yes, and so today, as you all know, we talk about breaking limitations, and our mission is always to empower, to equip, or to promote people in any way we can. And I know our bishop has so much experience with his own personal life and some of the things that he's been able to accomplish. And so, Bishop, today we want to talk a little bit about purpose and how you even discovered your purpose. And because sometimes we are told we go to school to do certain things, and then the Lord interrupts us from our own personal agenda. So how did you discover your purpose or calling?
Thank you very much, Joyce. It's important for me to say that I'm speaking this from the point of view of being a born-again believer, a servant of God, and I'm a child of God. And the most important thing is to submit to God-given authority in your life. That's very, very important. Many years ago, as I was going through school, high school and all that, I was preparing for my life at university, going to university to study engineering. I even studied flying. Actually, I wanted to be a pilot, and that's why God called me from going to flying school and get into the ministry of preaching the word and becoming his servant. And therefore, he used the authority that was over me then by that time, the Apostle Dr. Joe Kayo, to speak into my life and tell me, you know what, you may be going this way, but I feel God would like you to go this way. Like Paul, you remember Paul had his own agenda until he meets Jesus on the road to Damascus. And it's like Christ told him, why you continue to kick against the pricks? In other words, the way you are going, you're going to get hurt. Because at the end of the day, Joyce, it's not so much my purpose, it is so much his purpose for my life. If you can find out God's purpose for your life, align yourself to that, it becomes very easy to break every limitation, human, satanic, cultural, whatever limitations the world may bring to you, you can overcome once you align yourself with the purpose of God for your life. Otherwise, if you miss his purpose, you'll continue kicking against the pricks, and you'll find you are getting hurt again and again. Therefore, what I've enjoyed is to find God's purpose for my life. Like Christ said, I don't do anything unless what you hear my Father doing.
Yes.
I don't say anything except I share my Father's saying. Reinhard Bonnke, let me just close this point by saying this. He's a dear friend of mine, the great German evangelist. He said, if you start doing your own thing and ask God to bless it, God has a choice, either to bless or not to bless. But if you find out what God is doing in your life, align yourself to that, you'll break every limitation, because this God is able to do that.
Yes, that is so powerful, especially to know that from a young age that you were able to listen to counsel and to listen to what Dr. Joe Kayo told you, and you made the decision to align your life with what God has for you. And I know sometimes it's very difficult for us to discover what it is to be sure whether we are hearing God or not. Clear to you that this is what God wants you to do, or how did you even know for sure that this is God? Because I think a lot of people are struggling with that part.
Yeah. If you look in the Bible, you'll find a young man called Samuel. Samuel is a young person whose parents have given him to the ministry of the temple. And one time he hears a voice calling him, and he didn't know what the voice means. So it is important for you to understand, you will not always get it right.
Yeah.
And that's why you need a spiritual authority you can consult. So Samuel went to Eli, who that time was the priest in charge of the temple. And he said, this is what I'm hearing. And Eli, after 3 times, Eli told him, go and lie down, because Samuel thought, you know what, Eli, you are calling me. And Eli said, no, I didn't call you. So they had this discussion back and forth until Eli remembered, you know what, next time you hear that voice, answer like this. So you may find someone who can coach you, who can help you on how to discern the right from the wrong, because as a young person, as you grow up, you may not have developed a degree of maturity where you have learned to distinguish the right from the wrong. That's why you need to find someone more mature who can be your mentor, who can be your coach, because Joyce, to break limitation, God has designed in such a way you need mentorship.
Exactly.
You'll need coaching. Please don't try to push this thing by yourself. No, even Jesus Christ had to be given platform by John the Baptist.
Yes.
You need someone like that who can give you a platform, who can tell you this is the direction. So it is when, after Eli's advice, is when Samuel was able to know. So with me, that's the role that Joe Kayo played. He was able to speak into my life. And that of another young man who has since gone to be the Lord, by Bishop Evans Mrima, who has started ministry together. It took him to speak into our lives. Then we knew the call of God upon our lives. But it still wasn't easy. We had to work out a lot of things through many teachers, through many platforms, through many other people came in along the way who spoke into our lives.
Wow. That's really, really good to hear. So if you're out there and you're struggling to get to figure out what your purpose is, just know that it's not a destination. You'll try here and there, but it's very important to seek counsel, to have mentors, to have coaches who can be able to speak into your life, and even spiritual leaders who can speak into your life so that you can be able to discover exactly what that purpose is. So when it came to ministry, I know that was you chose to go into ministry while your peers went to university. So how would you advise someone who is who is struggling to do something that seems different from what others are doing?
The most important thing is not to condemn yourself and not to judge yourself harshly. You know, sometimes it's very easy for us to condemn ourselves and judge ourselves harshly. Listen, I like what you said, Joyce. The discovering your purpose, breaking limitations, is not an event.
Yes.
It's a process. It will take time. And there is a verse that just came into my mind when you are talking from the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 28, where the Apostle Paul says, you know what? All things work together for good to all those who love God and who are the called according to his purpose. If you could, I'm repeating that again, who are the called according to his purpose.
Yes.
If you love God and you have been called according to his purpose, you find out that purpose. It's not that everything happening in your life will be cozy, rosy, pleasant. No. Some of the events you'll go through will not be pleasant at all. But so don't look at any one given event and say, you know, this is bad. If God has called me, or if this is the purpose of God for my life, why am I going through this? It is when you look at it in retrospect, in totality, you'll discover, you know what? All things were working together to bring me where I am. That's what Bishop J says. Where you are right now, look back. You'll see God was still at work, even if you did not know it.
Exactly.
You're still at work in your life to bring you where you are today. You are a product of the workings of God in your life to bring where you are. So if you are there right now, and you are struggling and you're asking those questions, should I go to university or not? Listen, I'll be honest with you. I went to university to study for what I'm doing. So university education is not, there's nothing wrong with it. All my children, Joyce told you I've got 5 children. All of them have got university education. I encourage them to do so because sometimes you've got to understand the purpose of God does not mean you cut off this. We are still free moral agents. So God allows us to make decisions. God is not, can I put it this way? He's not micromanaging our lives.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I don't expect him to. And he won't. There's some things he'll decide. He allows you to put on the color you want, the color of shoes you want. He doesn't come and say, no, wear black today, wear this color. Those are things God trusts you to make the right decision. Okay? If you make a mistake, you will make a mistake. You correct it and move on.
Yes. Wow, this is such good advice. So guys, I hope you are listening. I hope you are taking it all in, because this is so powerful when it comes to discovering our purpose. I know we are living in a time where people are really struggling to discover who they really are. People are copying each other on Facebook, they're copying each other on Instagram, trying to be the next big thing, but they're copying each other and taking away from their own personal identity. So I want you to know that you are unique just the way you are. God created you for a purpose, and he has a specific plan for your life. And it doesn't have to look like your neighbors, it doesn't have to look like your brothers or sisters, it's just uniquely yours. So make sure that you're taking time to pursue your purpose. And so, Bishop, even when it comes to ministry, I know ministry is, I know like you've really accomplished a lot. You've made such a big difference in my life and in a lot of people's lives. What are some of the things that you can tell people, even as they're pursuing their, as people are pursuing their purpose, because as they're pursuing their purpose, because I think sometimes when we become Christians, we just think that we are called to be in the pulpit and not, and then we look as though being in the secular world as something like maybe this is not Christianity. But I know God has called us to have influence everywhere. So how would you?
Well, when you are talking, Joyce, when you are talking, several things go through my mind. And all of us must understand, all of us, God has got an assignment for you. That's only for you. Jesus says, take my yoke upon you. and learn from me. For my yoke is easy, my burden is light. That word, my yoke is easy, means the yoke that is for Joyce is the same yoke that for JB. It means it's custom built. It's like shoes.
Yes.
The shoes that fit me will not fit you, because shoes are made for a particular size of a foot. So if you put on something bigger or smaller, you'll be uncomfortable.
Yes.
So he's saying the yoke that God has prepared for you is custom built for you. And that's why I tell people, the greatest assignment you have is to find out, what is God's purpose for my life?
Yes.
Now, once you find that out, go for it. And don't let others run in their own lane. It's like a race. Paul says, I've finished my race. When he talks about at the end of his life, he says, you know what? I've fought a good fight and I've finished my race. Not your race, my race.
Yes.
God might have called you to run 100 meters, while he has called me to run 800. Another one has been called to run 1,500. Another has been called to run a marathon. If Usain Bolt, the great Jamaican sprinter, if he tries to do what Eliud Kipchoge, the great Kenyan marathoner, does, he won't make it.
Yeah.
You know, because we Kenyans are very good in the long distance. But
Yes.
Americans and Jamaicans are very good in short distance. But you put them on a marathon, you'll beat them any day. You bring them in the sprints, they'll beat us any day.
Yes.
Why? Everybody has got his own assignment. So don't try to do what somebody else is. Because the key is this. Jesus tells us this parable. He says, when one ruler was going away, he went to his servants. He gave one talent. He gave another one 2 talents. He gave another one 3 talents. And the Bible says, each one according to their ability.
Yes.
That's it. Don't try to be what you are not, because when it came to accountability, the Bible says everybody was asked to account for the 5 or for the 2 or for the 1. Nobody was asked to account for what was given to another person.
Yes.
I believe God will only ask me to account for what he has assigned me to do, not what he has assigned you to do.
Yes.
Right now I'm sitting on what God has assigned you to do. I admire what you are doing. This is you. Okay?
Yes.
If you go on the same platform, you'll find me doing what God has called me to do.
Yes.
That's me.
Yes.
Now, if you try to get me to start interviewing people like you, I may not know what to ask. You see, but you know what to ask. The same way, if I give you some of the things I do, you may say, oh, how do you do this? So each one of us have got, once you know your assignment,
Yes.
just go for it. Don't try to find out like Peter. When Jesus gave him an assignment, he went asking Peter, Jesus, what will John do? And Jesus told him, what is that to you?
To you, exactly.
If I want him to live even for 1,000 years, what's that to you? You do have your assignment. Feed my lambs. Take care of my sheep. Feed my sheep. He gave him his own assignment.
Yes.
Told him, leave John. I'll give him an assignment.
So let's just talk about the marketplace. The importance of us becoming everything that God has called us to be also in the marketplace.
I'll approach it this way. Right now, with the COVID pandemic, God is a God of purpose. And you've got to understand, everything that happens does not happen behind God's back.
Yes.
No, God is aware.
Yes.
So when you see these COVID things like the locusts, in the days of Joel, Prophet Joel, he says, oh, those locusts, the swarming locusts, the cutting locusts, the eating locusts, whatever. The King James calls them cankerworm and caterpillars, and
Yes.
says, I sent them. I knew they were coming. In other words, this COVID thing did not happen behind God's back.
Yes.
I feel one of the reasons, it may not be the only one, but one of the reasons why God allowed this thing was to allow the church to catch up with the rest of the world in the area of technology. The church had been left behind almost 10 years.
Yes. Yes.
But with this pandemic, listen to what I'm going to say, with the closure of in-person worship, we were forced to go onto Instagram, forced to go onto Facebook, forced to go onto YouTube, forced to go onto Twitter, forced to go onto TikTok. These were places the church was not active.
Exactly.
I'm telling you that so that you may understand that the future of ministry is not the traditional we have known it. No. The future of ministry now is those who will be able to capture two things. Number one, will be able to capture the social media platform. Number two, go back to small groups. Because the church in its original form was in small house churches,
Yes.
which we'd forgotten. We were going for mega churches. But we'll have to go back to that and also catch it on the social media. If we can get TV on demand, people should be getting church on demand, ministry on demand. Therefore, we've got to put content there. Therefore, you've got to understand, it is important for people to understand there is a place for the voice of the church in the marketplace. We need Christians in the 7 mountains of influence, and they've got to go there.
Yes.
Whether it's government, it's business, it's in arts, it's on news, media, platforms, hotel, entertainment. We need the voice of the church right there.
Yes.
And that's where God is pushing us. Therefore, I understand that. So if you find yourself there, you're not lost.
Okay.
The president of Malawi is a born again. He was a general superintendent of Assemblies of God all over Malawi. Do you know what he says about himself? I'm a missionary in the world of politics.
Wow. Wow.
I like that.
Yeah.
Dr. Lazarus Chakwera says, I'm a missionary in the world of politics. We need missionaries in the judiciary, missionaries in the entertainment industry, missionaries, social media. We need missionaries to go there. So Jesus says, go into the whole world, not to, into. The word is into. So we need to enter into the world of politics, judiciary, entertainment, media. We need to enter in. So if you find yourself like my son Julian Kula, whom you know, in the world of the marketplace, be an apostle in the marketplace and go for it.
Wow. Wow. I feel like clapping because wow, this is so powerful. Guys, I hope you are writing down notes, taking it in. I hope you are going to listen to this over and over and over because this is so powerful. This is what God is calling us to do. For a long time, we've focused so much on the religion part and we've not focused into the other 7 mountains. And so it's also so important for us to be represented in every area that God has put before us. And the way you said about the church being represented in the social media platforms and also in technology, that is really powerful because not only are we supposed to be in the social media platforms, but we have to be able to capture people's attention because people have their attention span is like 13 seconds before they move to something else. So for the church to be able to capture people on social media, which are people who are not maybe part of their church, then they have to be able to raise their level of excellence and doing the things they're supposed to do so that people can be captured and be able to listen to the content because the word is good, but with the way society is, people are really easily distracted. I know I was reading about one of the neuroscientists was saying how our attention span is like the attention span of a goldfish right now. So people will scroll up and down. They'll not watch whatever you put unless it really catches their attention. So that is so powerful. So what are some of the other nuggets you just want to share with us that would empower us so that we can move forth in what God has called us to do?
I like what you have said. All we need to do is, if you talk about the church, we've got to repackage what we are saying, what we are doing, the way we are saying. Don't change the message. Right from two major preachers in the U.S. During this pandemic, Rick Warren has started over 3,000 cell groups.
Wow.
To pastor his congregation. Right now, as we are talking, T.D. Jakes from Porter's House, his TikTok handle has over 1 million followers.
Wow.
This is what people need to learn, that you can repackage what you are saying in points that will be relevant to this generation.
Yes.
But because God has used this pandemic to push us to be the greatest creator of content on the social media now. And that's important. Let's not abandon that place.
Yes.
So there's all we have to do is how shall we reach people through Twitter, through Instagram? Let us, because now you're not going to come up with a 2-hour message. You're trying to come 10-point sermon. No. Find out how can you package the 1 point per day?
Yes.
Because people listen to that. Don't go for all the 10, just one.
Yes.
So there's a lot of these things we can do. But find your purpose. But the key thing is, you talk about breaking limitation. It's important for me to tell your people. One of the things that helped me is a prophetic word that was spoken over my life when we started the church in Umoja. You're still, you are there. You are part of that congregation.
Yes.
When Archbishop Arthur Kitonga of Redeemed Gospel Church said, you know what? Every seat you buy, God tells me to tell you, I'll bring people to sit on it. And I took that.
Yes.
And God gave us a verse, Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20. And this is important for all of you to know, that this God is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we can ask or think, according to the power that's at work within us. Listen to those words, to the power that's at work within us. The power to break limitations is already within you.
Yes.
It's not coming from outside. Don't pay anybody any money for it. Paul says it's already within you. It's for you to trust and believe in this God who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly above all that we can ask or think. That's breaking limitations.
Yes.
And with just that simple prophetic word, with mentors, working faithfully, putting it to action, we have grown. Before COVID, we were having a congregation of 10,000 people every Sunday morning. 3,000 Sunday school children, 1,000 teenagers in our teens church, over 650 young people in our young people's church. Friend, it is possible.
Yes.
You can break limitations. Trust God in your area of business, whether you are a lawyer, you are a doctor, an engineer, you're the social, whatever God has called you to do, whatever purpose God has called you, you can break limitation. Don't limit yourself. Don't look at yourself like the children of Israel did. Oh, we look like grasshoppers in our own eyes. So you will be in the eyes of the world.
Yes.
See yourself as God sees you. You are not a grasshopper. No, you can take territories for God.
Amen. That is so powerful, because I have witnessed from the time I was a child. I was there when that prophecy was given, and I've seen the growth I've seen what God has done. I've seen what God can do. So I know our God is not limited. And I know sometimes we experience things in our lives that make us think that maybe God has forgotten us. But I want you to know that God is alive and well. God loves you. God cares about you. And God is concerned about your life. And He's given you everything that you need to become everything that He has called you to be. So I'm really, really excited about this. I'm really excited about what you just told us, and I'm fired up to even go and be
Amen.
I'm fired up to go and break limitations. So Bishop, I'm so happy that you are able to be here with us, and I'm excited, and I'm excited about just hearing all the growth about the ministry, the young people, I know there's the school and everything. So if you could just go ahead, do you have your social media handle, or do you want me to
Oh, you can post it if you go to dcumoja.org.
Okay.
You'll on Facebook, find us on YouTube.
Yes, and
or Bishop J B Masinde.
J B Masinde.
You'll find lots of what we're doing on YouTube.
Yes.
You can find us there. That's where we are at. DC Umoja. DC Umoja. Deliverance Church Umoja.org. You'll find us on Facebook and YouTube.
So guys, make sure you're following Bishop Masinde and you're following Deliverance Church Umoja, because they're doing some amazing work in Kenya and all around the world. We watch them all the time. I know there's that time difference, so sometimes I watch the replay, but sometimes when I'm awake, I'm able to watch it live. I like watching it live, so I'm always on the Facebook watching at least I watch the first service.
That's good.
Because I'm not able to stay up for the rest because of the time difference is 8 hours, but I watch the first service. And so
this weekend we'll watch with you.
Yes.
That's technology.
Yes.
I'm still the preacher in Africa, and yet I'm here.
Imagine.
This Sunday I'm still the one preaching.
Woo! This is amazing. I tell you.
Take advantage of technology.
Yes.
Breaking limitations.
Uh-huh.
You see, I had to be in Kenya, but now I don't have to be in Kenya to preach in Kenya.
Yes.
No.
Guys, if you are trying to pursue your purpose, make sure you just, pursue it with all your heart. And Bishop, again, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Breaking Limitations show. I am not just, I am so excited. I don't even want to show it, but I'm so excited and I'm so honored that even this was a dream of mine and you're here. So I really thank God that He brought you here.
Thank you very much. And greetings from my dear wife,
Yes.
Bishop Masinde. She says hi.
Thank you so
to all
much.
Of you. Receive greetings from my first lady.
Yes, Bishop Masinde, my mom. Thank you so much. We love you. We love you. We love you. So, guys, thank you so much. Make sure if you're not following us on YouTube and also on our Facebook page, be sure to follow us on the Breaking Limitations show. All the social media handles are at the bottom. Just make sure you follow us so that you can get notifications for this show and any other show that we are going to have in the future. So thank you so much and God bless you.
Represent your commitment to breaking limitations by visiting breakinglimitationsnow.com to purchase your Breaking Limitations t-shirt, tank top, or hoodie today.
This is a call to all women entrepreneurs. Women in Business Community Network is a one-stop shop for female entrepreneurs in Kenya. Our goal is to empower communities and eradicate poverty. With a membership of 1.2 million members across the country, we engage and aspire to achieve issues around challenges on women enterprises. We thrive on 5 pillars: mentorship and capacity building, financial literacy and investment, market linkages and partnerships, networking, referrals and events, policy and advocacy. For more details, visit us on www.wibkenya.org or simply call us on 0751 900 900. Women in Business Network. Empowering communities, eradicate poverty.